Hello and welcome back to the Southern Hockey Network. We're back for the second game of the Friday night slate. Warthogs taking on the Ugly Pucklings. And Warthogs win the opening draw. They're going to move it up, but Pucklings trying to keep it in the zone. Whitehead battling for it, forces it out. Pucklings going to have to touch up. LaMonica with it, near side boards. Cuts back, taken away by J.C. Colton. Farmieri trying to skate into that one. Taken away by Kyle Ratcliffe. Pass out to the slot for Grice. Tied up over there is Diana Raven. She gets it towards the net. And who else than downtown Dion Brown back out there 7 tonight for the Warthogs. Mentioned he feels like a local celebrity. Well, when you're out there on the ice almost every game, you're bound to be called on. I told him I was going to keep his name off the roster, not talk about him, but here we are.
Yeah, no excuses. Can't say you're tired if you're back out here for another one after you just played.
As Grice has shot that one off the side of the net, scored in the Pucklings' last game.
He almost got one there. The puck deflected off of his stick.
And now Farmieri up the other way. Has Whitehead. Whitehead a shot. That one wraps around the net. Between the pipes, he got Drew Farmieri for the Ugly Pucklings. And for the Warthogs, got Nick Faluda. As Brigman plays it off the far side boards, Whitehead just out of the reach. He's going to circle back on defense. Matt Miller challenged by J.C. Colton. Now David Frank fires it in on Faluda, makes a save. Warthogs coming off a 7-4 win last Thursday against the senior Mocs. Ugly Pucklings looking to get back in the win column. Won their first game of the season, but fell to the senior Mocs in the last matchup. He's now sent out of the zone. J.C. Colton is going to skate downhill, but moves it just a little bit too far out of his reach. But still up there on the forecheck. Gets a pass out to Gumbos out the point. A shot, that one into the glove of the Pucklings. Now David Frank going to move it up. Stick check by Gumbos, who sends it back in towards Farmieri. Now Igor Zenton out there. Had the OT winner in the first game of the season for the Pucklings. Gets a pass off to Miller. Back to Zenton, has it on his backhand, tries to get a shot away. Hits off the side of the net, pass back to Miller. And now cleared out of the zone, and now a race for it. Gumbos. Farmieri's got to get set. Gumbos a shot. That one goes wide.
Yeah, in all alone, just wide of the net. But what speed there from Gumbos.
Got his legs underneath him there and got moving like a freight train.
You could see him barreling down the ice from his own zone, too. Definitely turned on the Jets there.
Now the captain, LaMonica, pass a shot. That one bouncing up, and Faluda's going to get a cover. LaMonica was maybe looking for some loose change there, trying to get a stick on that one while it was in the glove. We're going to get a whistle and a face-off to the right of Faluda. Bobby Brigman set to take this draw. Flanked by his brother, Tim Brigman. This puck's dropped. Brigman to Brigman connection as this one's passed up the boards. Whitehead's going to skate after it. Kyle Ratcliffe back. Farmieri's going to play it for Ratcliffe back behind the net. Whitehead's going to get there. He tries a sharp angled shot. Took a weird bounce off the boards. Farmieri gets the cover. Jason Cribbs, referee, patrolling the face-off dots in this one, set to drop it. See some different legs out there for the Warthogs in the offensive zone. Not quite
late
set
change there.
in the face-off circle is now LaMonica driving downhill. A good stick check there by the Warthogs. Almost a shot. Tried to get that top corner where the Ugly Pucklings. Now the Warthogs, Whitehead with it. Driving it downhill. Takes a shot. That one saved. It's like maybe it caught a stick of Ratcliffe on the way in. Probably redirected it. Allowed Farmieri to make a save. Now Ratcliffe flips it up the boards to LaMonica, who slows it down. Gets a chip pass. out of the reach of Rodebo. And now back for it is Grice. Backhand pass to Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe a shot. That one gets blocked in front.
That one definitely didn't feel good.
Just above the ankle, and Ratcliffe going to take a spill there. So delayed offsides as he's got to come back and touch up. I mentioned not much padding in between the sock and the ankle there. And now a battle on the far side boards. Deion Brown tied up there with Diana Raven. She's going to win that one, flip it further into the Warthog zone. Using the wall to flip it out, but kept in by LaMonica along the boards. Now has Grice. Grice was trying to get a pass, but was forced back by Logan Farmieri. Pressure by Bobby Brigman. Comes out of the zone. Now Tyler Rodebo tried to play it. A little stick lift there on Farmieri. Able to move it up was Matt Miller. Gotta be careful that door open on that bench. Is Rodebo drives downhill, a shot. Faluda makes a save. Deion Brown trying to get it out. Does. See if Ruff's arm does go up for icing. Doesn't have enough on it. And we're going to see a whistle icing against the Warthogs. So Pucklings will get some fresh legs out there.
Ratcliffe could have. I think he might have been able to catch up to that puck, but strategically slowing down just enough to allow that puck to go across the goal line.
Sometimes you just let the puck go. Jason Cribbs down there blew the whistle. No harm, no foul. Carr takes a shot. That one looked like it had the back of the net labeled on it, but ends up behind the net. Now sent down the ice. We're going to see another icing as Zenton just going to chase that one down. Warthogs making sure the refs' whistles stay warm. It's cold on the ice, but if you keep blowing the whistle, it's bound to stay warm.
Yeah, this rink might have a new name, but it's still just as cold.
Still just as cold. Some things never change. We've got some good hockey here at the Polk Athletic Complex. 6:05 left to go. Neither team able to break the scoring open. Whitehead drives in, has it taken away, but able to find it on the skate. A shot and a save by Farmieri. Had to react quickly to that one. Whitehead was barreling down, able to find a shot.
No, puck's in the net.
Looks like, did they count that one as a goal? Looks like. Oh,
it went in.
Oh, Warthogs get a goal. There was no celebration. There was no indication.
I had thought I had seen the puck just go past the glove and trickle into the net, but I wasn't sure because it was kind of out of our view range.
Do I have to reenact the excitement of the goal call? I wasn't sure it went in, but either way, the Warthogs have a 1-goal lead. 5:44 left to go. Whitehead tallying the first goal of the game. Now that one's sent around back behind Faluda. Tim Brigman trying to chip that up the boards. Flips it up to Whitehead. That top unit's still out there. Whitehead drives in. Goes back to Farmieri, who takes a shot. That one goes out wide. And now almost a dangerous play there by the Pucklings. They're just trying to keep it back behind their net. It's now a pass to the slot. Now Warthogs, Farmieri trying to drive downhill. Number of bodies in the lane for the Pucklings. A shot, that one goes over the net. J.C. Colton having to duck out of the way there. And now ref's arm up for icing, and that's going to be an icing. As Gary McCormick just not able to get a stick on that one. Knew immediately as Tim Brigman skated for that one. So face-off coming back into the Ugly Puckling zone. Starting to see some late changes by both sides. Kept in the zone. A shot there. That one goes towards the net. Saved by Farmieri. And now Kyle Ratcliffe has Tyler Rodebo, but not able to get the pass through. Rodebo was calling for it, and now a chance for Bobby Brigman. A shot. That one saved. Excellent save there by Farmieri, and Kyle Ratcliffe getting back to swallow up that rebound. There's another shot by Whitehead. Save there by Farmieri. He's going to come out of the zone. Down the ice. No icing. Rodebo back for it. Chips it to himself. Back behind the net looking for a pass to the slot. Tries a backhand pass, and Valuta going to cover that one up. LaMonica down there patrolling the blue paint, trying to look for some extra gritty work. That's where you get gritty goals as well.
Yeah, and you see the Ugly Pucklings chipping it forward and going after it, using their speed, and getting to that puck first.
As a shot there by Ratcliffe, looked like that one was labeled for the back of the net, but Valuta making a glove save there. That one shot off the side of the net, trying to get it out. It's going to just bounce off of Rodebo's stick. He'll send it back in. Valuta trying to slow that one down. Senior Mocs goaltender Luis Ortiz down below us here in the booth after coming off of that win. So sticking around to catch the Warthogs take on the Ugly Pucklings. It's now Logan Farmieri with Bobby Brigman. A shot, that one top right corner, but just goes over the net. Now wrapped around the boards by Brigman.
Yeah, Bobby Brigman was sitting at the far blue line for a minute there. He was looking for a stretch pass.
We've seen a lot of that from the Warthogs as Logan Farmieri takes a little spill there. Gets a little tied up and now up the other way. It's Dennis Grice. Spinorama. He shoots. That one goes wide. Saved there by Valuta. Now Rodebo. Chips it around the boards. Tries to drive it to the slot. Takes a sharp angled shot. Valuta saved. Grice on the rebound. Now Rodebo slowing it down. Once again takes a sharp angled shot. Once again off of Valuta there. Still battling for it. Now Ratcliffe out of the blue line. It's going to get cleared. Ratcliffe's got to get back as Bobby Brigman once again along that blue line. Has Logan Farmieri in the slot. Good play by Kyle Ratcliffe. Now Rodebo with Matt Miller and Grice trying to get a backhand pass, but forced out wide. Good play there by Tim Brigman. Now wrapped around the boards. Miller there for it. Into the corner looking for a pass to the slot. Tim Brigman flips it up.
A couple of good defensive plays there from Tim Brigman.
This one taken away by the Pucklings. Grice going to skate it in. Had the only goal in the game for the Pucklings against the Senior Mocs. Now comes out to Rodebo. He'll take a shot. That one's saved by Valuta. Kicked that one out wide. Now cleared by the Warthogs. Arm up for icing, and that's a no-doubter there. So we get a quick whistle. 1:23 left to go. So puck set to be dropped. David Frank wins it, but escapes just over. And now taken away at center ice by the Pucklings. They're going to try to dump it in. 1 minute left to go. Valuta back for it. He's just going to leave it for Tim Brigman. Just going to wrap it around the boards for Logan Farmieri. Not able to get it out. Skating back for it is Gombis. Has it on the backhand. Chipped up the far side boards. 40 seconds left to go in this first period. Noah headed down to get an interview with Peyton Whitehead, the goal scorer. And this one is a shot goes wide. A little bit of collision there. with 24 seconds left to go. Now Zenton up by himself. Pucklings getting a change, going for the wraparound try. Excellent job there by Faluda. 8 seconds left to go. Pucklings will just hold it back behind their net as time expires in this first period. So Noah's going to try to talk with Peyton Whitehead. He's trying to get an interview. We'll see. Yeah, Peyton Whitehead's going to skate over. So Noah down there on the ice. Getting set to talk it over. We're going to throw it down to Noah down on the ice with Peyton Whitehead.
Lone goal in the first. What'd you see on the play?
I just seen a little bit of opportunity. Their guys were bunching up a lot and stick to stick, and I think it was a team effort on them too to make it go in off my stick. So,
yeah, kind of a back and forth first period. What do you guys need to continue to do to maintain your lead going in the second?
Need to keep them out of our zone a little bit more. Our defense is kind of letting them just push through us. Some of our forwards and center, they're just staying up at the top of the blue line, trying to cherry pick a little bit. If we could stop that, we'll put some more goals in there.
All right, Peyton. Thanks for your time. Good luck in the next period.
Thank you.
That was Noah down there with Peyton Whitehead, who scored that goal, and giving some credit to the teammates as well, who were able to find that one in the back of the net. And that gave the Warthogs that 1-0 lead, as Pucklings will have some work to do, but had some chances. Peyton talking about just need to find a way to get rid of some of those stretch passes and find a way to keep the defense strong. Their goaltender's doing a great job. And so the Warthogs have a lot to look for. And a shout out to Noah doing his first interview here on the Southern Hockey Network as he gets set back in the booth.
Heard him calling out some cherry picking as well.
I feel like we've seen that a little bit on both sides, so I'm not going to say it's so black and white. Both teams have tried some of those stretch passes. You called one of them out with Bobby Brigman sitting on that blue line. You said for almost a minute and a half. So, hey, whatever puts pucks in the back of the net, whatever wins games.
Yeah, Adult League is where you try many different things. So, whatever gets your team on the board, whatever works.
No, I got to ask, if you're ever putting a forward roller, you cherry picking along the blue line and over there at the Space Coast Iceplex?
No, I'm back on defense. You got to have, if you're a winger, you got to be in the defensive zone, starting stops, going up to the opposing defender at the point. Yeah, no, we play a structured defensive game in our own zone.
Well, luckily I'm not out there, because if I was out there, well, first I got to learn how to skate, I guess. But if I was out there, I've got the 1 foot on the blue line. I'm waiting for the pass. So I'm trying to use the speed. Lord knows if I even get the puck on my stick first, though. As we're going to get set for the second period. And second period brought to you by the Slapshot Bar and Grill here at the Polk Athletic Complex. Whether you're craving wings, burgers, even just a cold drink between periods, that's the place to go. Place that makes fans feel like they're a part of the lineup too.
Yeah, great ad read, Gavin. And I could speak from experience. It's one of the better in-rink restaurants that I've seen compared to other facilities.
I did see a series where Lynn University came down when they were playing Florida Southern College and rated chicken quesadilla at like a 9, and they go to every rink and try food, and that was one of the highest rankings they gave. So big shout out to the Slapshot Bar and Grill, as Farmy area making a save there.
Yeah, Whitehead almost getting another one, maybe the interview bump. But you said from Farm Mary, nice glove save.
Everyone might be looking to talk to Noah after. If Whitehead gets a hat trick in this game, Noah's going to have to do the rest of the interviews. Man's got the magic touch. As now Whitehead drives in a shot. That one's sharp angled. And now settles the pass, looking to show off some of the passing as well as the goal scoring ability, but getting back on defense. Rotobo trying to get passes. Downtown Dion Brown tried to cut to the slot. Defensive play there by Whitehead. Flip down the ice, and we're going to get an immediate icing whistle from Jay Cribbs.
Thankfully, though, it's not like the NHL where the teams can still change, so the Warthogs will get some fresh legs out on the ice, which is always good. You know, if you're ever tired, just throw the puck down the ice and get off.
Well, and that's the beauty of Adult League. And both of these teams, obviously short benches, you don't get a full 20 skaters out there for most games. You just got to play with what you got. Both teams doing that here.
Yeah, we talked about it last game with both teams having 10 skaters. I think that's the magic number. 2 lines, just a perfect number. You know, you go a little bit less than that, and then you're starting to double shift, and guys start getting tired. But, yeah, I mean, good numbers from all 4 teams out here playing tonight.
And that's part of getting these games on the Friday slate. You get some more people. As a shot there by Brigman goes wide. Grice back defensively for it, trying to get it out of the zone. Flips it up the boards. Diana Raven able to clear that one, but sent it back in by the Warthogs, delayed offsides. Kyle Ratcliffe back for it, pressured by Bobby Brigman on the forecheck. Ratcliffe using that backhand to get past Brigman. Whitehead came in there with the stick check. And now Gombas with it, flips it up the boards, gets it to Brigman. Brigman settles it for Peyton Whitehead. One-on-one, Whitehead a shot, and a good stick by Kyle Ratcliffe.
Yeah, he mentioned the team effort there on his first goal, and you said a nice pass there from Bobby Brigman.
Now starting to see the Polk Techs try to break out, but held in their own zone. Whitehead has Brigman on the back door. Whitehead a shot, and he scores! Talk about the interview bump, Noah. That's his second of the game. Warthogs with a 2-goal lead. Noah, we're sending you down for interviews for the rest of the game. Whoever you go down there and talk to has had the magic touch.
Yeah, and there's a bit of a screen there on that shot, so Whitehead was able to get that puck through. But a good shot as well, and the Warthogs extend their lead.
As Brigman a shot, that one goes wide. Farmieri making a save there. Tried to grab that one with the glove. It's now a chance the other way for the Pucklings. Matt Miller tried to get the pass away, but not able to get it to Grice, and now up the other way. Logan Farmieri with some speed. But pressured by the double 21 line of Igor Zinton and Dennis Grice. Two of the quicker players on this Pucklings roster trying to use that speed, as we're going to see a spill right in front of Farmieri. That was Jeff Carr. And now Zenton drives in, trying to go wraparound, trying to get a pass to the slot. Miller and McCormick were there, but that one's going to come out of the zone. Jeff Carr back on his feet, dumped in. Delayed offsides, so Pucklings had to touch up as Tim Brigman, one of the blue liners for this Warthogs team, tried to clear it out, but David Frank there tried to chip it just deeper into the zone. And now Gumbo's trying to get it out. Warthogs do is Gary McCormick taking a little fall there. Pass back, letting things settle down. Now pass up the boards to Matt Miller. Matt Miller gets it to McCormick. Has it taken away for a moment. Now a pass across. Frank not quite ready for that one. Looked like maybe just trying to dump it into the corner, and Frank didn't realize, and now a little hit there. Now Farmieri a shot. A rebound try, and they score! Warthogs get the third goal of the game. In the Wu-Tang Clan jersey. Quite have a number here on our roster.
Does say cream on the back of his sweater, though.
Starting to see some alternate jerseys. We've seen a couple of them. One of my favorites I've seen this season is the Fayetteville Fire Ants jersey. Throws me back to a good core memory. First ever, I'll say pro hockey game, but definitely like a SPHL, FPHL minor league team is now David Frank with the puck. Takes it away, a shot, that one in on Faluda, makes a save.
Bobby's definitely looking for one here. He's set up a couple of his teammates.
Farmieri now drives in. Another pass by Brinkman. You can want to score goals, but sometimes you're just destined to assist on him, and that's looking like one of those games for Brinkman. But still plenty of time, 7:20 left to go in the second. Now David Frank tries to chip it past J.C. Colton, and now taken away by Bobby Brinkman. And a good stick there by David Frank, slapping that one on the ice, cutting off the pass. Now Alex Lamonica is going to draw a penalty. So a delayed penalty for the Pucklings, and we're just going to see the whistle here. We're going to call a trip. Warthogs not too happy about that one, and it's a little fist bump. So Monica looked like maybe laboring a little bit. Not quite sure if he's trying to sell it a little bit or is actually laboring after that trip.
You know, maybe he was out there for a long shift, just a little tired, taking his time getting up.
So a big spot now for the Ugly Pucklings, and it's going to come outside the zone as the play was whistled offside. 6:56 left to go in this one. Shout out to Lena Kay, Chloe Coker, our production and camera crew for today's game. Helping us out here late on a Friday night. It's Kyle Ratcliffe driving it up through center ice with some speed and takes out J.C. Colton on the way. A drop pass. Not able to get a shot away. Were the Pucklings. Showing off some finesse there as Scott Carlson was set up in the slot on that drop pass.
Yeah, and nice play there from Ratcliffe. And, yeah, fending off forecheckers there. I just wanted to mention, too, we talk about those gloves he's wearing. Really nice vintage look. You don't see gloves like that around often. Yeah, and they look like they're like custom made.
I love the vintage hockey look, you know, especially something that throws it off with the, you know, you got the bright green, black, and pink stripes on the jerseys. Love the jerseys, by the way, but those gloves just stand out as well.
We're seeing lots of different colors from a lot of different players here on this Ugly Pucklings team.
Now J.C. Colton tries to send Logan Farmieri and gets the pass. A shot, that one far side corner. Just goes wide of the net. Pucklings still on the power play, but good job by the Warthogs. What looks like almost like a power kill. Now the Pucklings send this one down the ice, and that's going to be an icing against the Pucklings, and that's just unfortunate, especially when you're on the power play.
Yeah, you want to control. You want to make sure you control that puck. Make sure you're making simple passes. You don't want to get too far ahead because then those stretch passes can become difficult to make, and especially when the other team's playing aggressive on the penalty kill.
So 5:25 left to go in the second period. 30 seconds on the Ugly Pucklings power play. Whitehead playing way back from the faceoff dot. So this one's in the skates of Dennis Grice. And now moved up by Matt Miller, but cleared by Whitehead. Igor Zenton tried to reach out for that one, not able to get that one. And now Carr, far side boards. Flips it up. Gets the pass to Diana Raven, who sends it into the zone. Whitehead with it on the stick, chips it around Raven. And now gets some legs as the power play is over for the Pucklings. A backhand try. Saved there by Farmieri. Now Grice up the other way. Shot block there. A little bit of frustration as now J.C. Colton up the other way.
Yeah, Tim shaking off that block shot.
Those always hurt, but it gets the teammates respect when you're willing to sacrifice the body. As this one's sent towards the slot, but kept out by Igor Zenton. He's calling for the puck, sent around the boards. Grice is going to skate after that one, come away with it. The double 21 line. Kicked out of the zone, delayed offside. Not able to touch it are the Warthogs, so they'll touch up. And Puckling's trying to move it up the other way. Matt Miller trying to flip it up, but Tim Brigman getting once again in the way of the puck.
Yeah, nice gap control there from Brigman.
Now Bobby Brigman down low, back behind Farmieri. Now Miller chips it up the boards. Tim Brigman sends it back into the zone. Warhawks touch up. Pucklings go for pass off the boards. Tim Brigman now with it on the backhand. Now Igor Zenton with it. Skates in. Tries to set up Grice. Not able to get the pass away, and this one's going to go the other way now for the Warthogs. Zenton's got to get back. A shot, that one saved, but still loose for Logan Farmieri. Another shot, that one goes wide of the net. Gumbus takes a shot. That one rings iron out to the corner. 3 quick shots by the Warthogs. It's now a battle in the corner. Coming away with it was Gary McCormick. Flipped up the boards. Zenton had to circle back as the Warthogs got away with it. Good play by LaMonica. And now Grice. Grice trying to get a pass. Logan Farmieri got in the lane. Monica was circling back. Now you will see that one. Now Pucklings had to wait for LaMonica to get back, and Logan Farmieri is going to take a little bit of a spill there. Shot towards the net. Faluda gets a stick on that one. Now Warthogs trying to get it up the other way. Bobby Brigman kicks it to Farmieri. Flip back out of the zone. Tim Brigman back for it. Trying to stretch pass out of the reach. And we're going to see an icing as Ratcliffe wins the race. 1:52 left to go.
Yeah, the Warthogs, I think I mentioned it earlier, but they're continuing to look for those stretch plays and seem to find some success with it.
This one's going to be sent around the boards, trying to spring Whitehead. Whitehead skating with some speed, looking like a man who's looking for a hat trick. Whitehead cuts back, slows things down. Ratcliffe. It looks like he's lining up for Michigan, trying, not able to get it on the stick. Had all day as Ratcliffe was watching him, seeing if you could hear both benches start to get a little fired up. As now Rodebo up the other way, a shot saved by Faluda. Rodebo gets his own rebound. Now drives into the slot, another shot saved by Faluda. 1:10 left to go.
And now Farmieri with it. He has Whitehead in front, but I don't know if he sees.
Tries to get the backdoor pass, a shot.
Another chance there, and it's offside play. Now the Ugly Pucklings will play it forward, and a couple of players chop at that puck, and it goes into the netting, so we'll get a stoppage, a face-off at center ice. And I'll take over for the remainder of the period as Gavin heads down to ice level. Get ready for intermission interview. And Whitehead, that's his third of the game. He's got the hat trick with 33.5 to go in the second period. The Warthogs now lead 4-0. And you know, I've got a nice hat right here, but I don't know if I'm tossing it. But the Warthogs extending their lead to 4 goals. Face-off goes to McCormick. He plays it forward. Kept just inside the blue line was Scott Carlson. And we have delayed offside. Looked like a bunch of players that stopped, and there was some yelling. It was the Ugly Pucklings bench trying to tell their players to get on side. And the face-off will go all the way down into the Ugly Pucklings zone with 14.8 to go. Bobby Brigman wins that back to Farmary. Shielding away from Carlson. Farmary with it. Tries to swing it in front. Loose puck. Bobby Brigman with it, and he scores! As time expires here in the second, Bobby Brigman gets on the board, and he's hitting the celly. Pointing at me here. And we talked about it. Bobby Brigman, kind of a passer this game, gets on the board, hanging around in front of the net, and kind of a no-look backhander. A nice goal there from Bobby. As we'll get set here for the intermission interview.
Here with Bobby Brigman. Bobby, you just scored a goal. How you feeling headed into this third period?
I feel like we just won the Stanley Cup. It feels great. And with Peyton by my side, and guys, it's about the name on the front. It's about the name on the front.
Absolutely. And what do you have to do in the third period to close this one out?
Just keep playing what we're playing. That's all. Keep going forward. Good defense. Offense has got to be there in the pockets. So.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. Good luck in the third period.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You heard it there first. It's about the name on the front, not the name on the back from Bobby Brigman.
Great interview there by Gavin. So he'll make his way back up here. And we'll get set for the third and final period of tonight's Polk Athletic Complex Adult League slate. And as we mentioned, the Warthogs pouring it on here. 5-0 is the score currently in favor of the Warthogs over the Ugly Pucklings. And on the back of a hat trick from Peyton Whitehead, and he's had a great game so far. Bobby Brigman getting one there late, as you just saw. It'll be good third period, as we'll step aside for a moment, get ready for the third. By the way, I'll have to mention this before Gavin gets up here, that I think I'd heard earlier he mentioned that Bobby and Tim Brigman are brothers. That is not the case. They are father and son. Bobby is Tim's father.
I'm back after a delayed intermission talking with defenseman Jennifer Burnett down below. She's taken in the sights of the second game, played a full 36 minutes for the senior Mocs out there, and talking things over as we get set for the third period. Bobby Brigman saying it's about the name on the front, not the name on the back, as you heard as I was coming off the ice there. Luckily, I only almost slipped twice today, so a good record.
To see if he really means that. After he scored, he kind of pointed at me and turned around and pointed to his name on the back of the jersey, so...
Yeah, he was telling me that was just a joke. He's done that once or twice this season. I mean, it's obviously he scored the goal. He was fired up after scoring that one. You got a 5-goal lead. You're going to get a little celebration, but did point at the Warthog logo on the jersey as I was headed off the ice. So now J.C. Colton's going to send that one in. Now Tim Brigman out at that red line. Getting a dynamic duo from the Brigmans. One's got a goal today and the other one playing lockdown defense along that blue line. It's Gary McCormick. Sends that one in. Gombas tries to flip it out of the zone. Bobby Brigman's going to come back for it, give a healthy slap at that one. Gets it out of the zone, but right to the Pucklings are going to try to get it going the other way. Igor Zenton gives a little head nod to Gary McCormick, who gets a pass, a shot, that one in on Faluda, who makes a save, goes out to the corner. Sent around the boards by McCormick. Matt Miller trying to get there, hugs the wall, kept it in the zones, but battling against J.C. Colton, who's going to take a fall to the knees right there. A shot in on Faluda, who makes the save and sticks that one out wide, and now Colton has it. Tries to get it out of the zone, and does. Carr's got to drop it back.
Faluda's played really well in this one tonight. He's been solid, and I won't say the word, although, you know, I got to call you out, Gavin. Last game you did say the word, and
it happened.
And it happened.
The broadcaster jinx is alive, and that's why I haven't said it this game. I'm not even going to mention what we're talking about. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. We'll say it when it's confirmed, but no broadcasters jinx here on the Southern Hockey Network for the second game of this Friday night slate. As LaMonica's going to skate in for this one. Back behind. Pinned out along the boards behind the net. Carr trying to skate into that one. A healthy collision. And this one's going to escape. Igor Zenton just kind of sitting at center ice, making sure no one gets past him. He's going to flip it to Grice just over the stick, but Grice is going to just fire it towards the net on Faluda. Taking a weird bounce there is now Tim Brigman settles it down. 9:24 left to go. And now LaMonica, a chance. Gets a shot away, rolls in on Faluda, gets the blocker on that. Tries to get to the slot, another blocker save. That one almost catching Diana Raven up high, but able to get out of the way of that one. And now Bobby Brigman up the other way. One of the 3 goal scorers for this Warthogs team. Deion Brown's going to dump that one in. Haven't seen too many shifts. Maybe the legs are a little exhausted after playing in the first game with the senior Mocs. Still see wearing the senior Mocs socks and got the Warthog jersey on.
Yeah, the back-to-back games can be tiring sometimes. So, you know, wouldn't be surprised if he's taking a couple breaks, although that might be hard to do with 9 players on your team.
Ugly Warthogs having the luxury of a big lead as they try to get a shot away there. It's flipped up and out to the corner for Bobby Brigman. J.C. Colton just kind of hanging out at center ice, waiting, making sure nothing gets past him. Is now a chance the other way for Igor Zenton on the breakaway. An 0-on-1. He shoots and he scores 5-hole. What a goal by Igor Zenton. Breaks the shutout for Nick Faluda, and that we can't call that a broadcaster's jinx because we didn't say it. Count that on the record. Igor Zenton, 3rd goal of the season.
Yeah, really nice speed there, and just a quick shift move to the inside, and he was gone. He had all the space from just inside the blue line all the way to the net, and he beats Faluda 5-hole.
And what a fantastic shot. That's a highlight reel goal. Regardless of the score on the board, that's what you like to see. If you're the Pucklings, just get some slow momentum.
And who knows, maybe you get another one quickly here, and all of a sudden it's a new game.
They say once it rains, it pours. You break a dam. Is now David Frank driving in. Shot, that one saved by Faluda. Starting to see some pressure now by the Pucklings as this one's in the slot. Rolls in on Faluda, jam play. And Faluda's going to get a cover. A quick whistle there by Jason Cribbs. Having none of that one. Got to watch late in these games. You start getting some extra sticks in on the goalie. You're going to draw some attention. Haven't seen too much like physicality so far in the season. A little bit of rough and tough, but no real scraps, but that'll draw one if you keep going like that.
Yeah, we've seen in all these games both teams playing hard, but like you said, not crossing that line. But maybe as the leads greaten.
It's Ratcliffe a shot. Faluda getting the blocker on that one. Had to make a great save there. And that one took a weird bounce out in front. Almost had a chance to head to the back of the net, but Faluda was ready. Now Rotobo calling for it on his stick. Gary McCormick with it on the backhand. Gets it to the slot. Matt Miller was there. McCormick still battling for it.
I think he switched hands.
Maybe seeing an ambidextrous. Do they make two-way sticks? No, right?
No, but he's got a right-handed stick, and saw him switch to the left.
Hey, whatever works. I
don't know if I've ever seen that. I've seen righties playing with a lefty stick, but
it's Farmieri's save. Well, Farmieri shot on Farmieri, so Farmieri goes for the goal, but Farmieri makes the save, and some dance moves from the production crew. We saw the dab earlier. Now I'm not sure. It looks like they're doing dips. I'm not sure what's going on up here. It's late night. Our production crew is going delirious, and 6:23 left in the third period. Whitehead out there has got a hat trick in today's game. It's looking Farmieri driving in. Takes a shot. Farmieri a save. Now Whitehead takes a shot. That one goes over the net. That was a close one. Whitehead looking for the fourth of the game. And after that, do you just do a complimentary benching?
Oh, man.
Maybe hearing some calls for a move out of novice for Whitehead.
And it's early on in the season. Those are the kind of thoughts that you have in the off season, looking to move things around.
Those are some of those trades we talked about. You start seeing the trade stock go up for people in between the off season, whether it's trades at restaurants for beers or handshake trades, whatever you got to do to get a player like Whitehead on your team going into the next off season.
Yeah, and every now and again you got the scouts from the higher leagues watching.
That's something Jimmy Porter's been mentioning, is this is a good chance for some of the upper leagues to scout some talent. Is now Logan Farmieri trying to get a shot away. Good defense there by Carlson. Warheg's trying to get a pass. That's Whitehead. He takes a shot. More of a shot pass across. Gumbus keeping it in. What a good play there. And now fixing the sleeve. Heads back to patrol that blue line. Tim Brigman sends it back in and actually sends it into the Pucklings net. So we'll get a whistle. 4:49 left to go. 5-1 lead for the Warthogs. Igor Zlenton scored for the Pucklings. Third goal of the year. So now the Pucklings flip it up. Matt Miller with Grice. Grice has to cut back. Gumbus lost an edge. A shot by Miller. And that one up into the netting, and that's going to fall into the corner. A souvenir for a lucky fan if someone wants to run over and get that puck just outside of the glass.
Be curious to see if Grice is not too happy that that puck didn't come over. Although I'm a fan of that shot. That looked like that was labeled for the top left corner.
That's what they say in the NHL as a goal scorer shot. When you score goals, you feel confident taking that kind of shot. And like you said, I like it. Good opportunity. You're down. You want to get pucks on net. As now Zenton cuts in. And looking maybe like he wanted a call, but now Dennis Grice comes away with it. The 2-1 connection. Now Logan Farmieri going to get a stick on that. It's going to come out of the zone for Jeff Carr. Passes across to Zenton. Starting to see some line changes. Zenton playing a little bit more on that blue line, but has forward speed as now Miller tries to get to Grice. Skates away for Zenton. A shot. Faluda with a big save, and he's going to cover that one up. 3:43 left to go.
Yeah, and we'll get a penalty here.
Looks like the official's arm did go up. Was it on the initial hook?
Let's see what it is, and it's an interference call on Gombas.
So Gombas to the box, and now a spot for the Pucklings. Maybe you just pull Farmieri, you get an early 6-on-5. You got 3 minutes left, you're down 4 goals.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
It's early in the season. See how your 6-on-5 work is going, and we saw a good 6-on-5 shift by the Moose in that first game. Some of the most intense 6-on-5 we've seen so far. Haven't seen too many of it, seen some big leads, but that was one of the closer games of the season. Zenton a shot, it rolls over Faluda, a shot, and they score! What a tuck there by Matt Miller.
Yeah, and hold the phone. It's a 3-goal game. 3:19 to go. And that was kind of a goal scorer shot there. Putting it up under the bar.
Was looking maybe to go bar down. Probably, I mean, you scored a goal, but probably a little bit upset that you just tucked it inside the net and not down off the bar.
But nonetheless, though, it's a brand new game. However, the score clock does say 6-1.
The score is officially 5-2. 3:19 left to go.
Yeah, but we've got that on our scoreboard, so.
As we see a spill between LaMonica and J.C. Colton as Bobby Brigman slows it down and just tries to wind up there. It's now the puck's covered by Farmieri, and the scoreboard does have the 5-2 with 3:05 left to go. Once again, a shout out to Lena Kay, Chloe Coker, our excellent camera and production crew for this one, helping me and Noah stay sane, while also taking some dance breaks in between whistles. Beer League's just as fun for the players as it is for the broadcasting crew here at the Southern Hockey Network. Dion Brown back for this one. Settles it down. And now J.C. Colton skating it up with Bobby Brigman. Brigman, a shot by Colton, saved by Farmieri, still loose. Now Ratcliffe's going to flip it out of danger. And now an excellent play by Tyler Rodebo as he's got a breakaway. Dion Brown's chasing him. A shot and he scores! 2:13 left to go and the Pucklings are not out of this one, tallying another goal.
Yeah, and the D-zone, a silky move from Rodebo. And Rodebo was just all alone on that breakaway. Tucks that one below the blocker, above the pad. And now we got a 2-goal game with 2:12 to go.
And I said it in the first game, 2-goal lead is the most dangerous lead in hockey. Let's see if the Pucklings can continue to get this momentum rolling and have one of the first comeback wins of the season. So now Peyton Whitehead driving down the lane. Toe drag move, a shot, and he's going to draw a penalty. Cribs with the arm up. We're going to see a slash there. Do we get penalty shots? I don't think so. I think it's just going to be a power play. But, you know, I would love to see a penalty shot. And
yeah, that would be great. You know, you would not see that very often.
Maybe have to talk to Jason Cribs after this one, see if we can get some penalty shot action here in the Adult Hockey League at the Polk Athletic Complex. Former goalie for the Florida Southern Mocs maybe wouldn't want to see a penalty shot. Like you said, you don't see too many of them even at ACHA college level, so probably won't see one here, but Pucklings now have to kill this off as they're going to be shorthanded for the remainder of the game.
Yeah, they're going to have to play aggressive if they want to get another one quickly here.
So Whitehead takes a shot, looking for the fourth, a tuck try. J.C. Colton was on the back door, just went wide of the net.
That puck perfectly and conveniently bounced right to Colton, but it was still bouncing. They wasn't able to quite connect with that on the back door.
And now taken away by the Pucklings. A 2-on-1 the other way. Zinton with Rotobo. Tim Brigman back. And a good stick by Faluda. Taking away that one. Just ran out of room. Now looking for a stretch pass. You can see Bobby Brigman along that blue line. JC Colton far side. A 3-on-1 the other way. Colton slows it down, gets it to Brigman. Brigman not looking for anything. 37 seconds left to go. Down to the final 30 seconds of this one. Pucklings trying to spring something out of their zone. JC Colton and the Warthogs keeping it down there. Puck does come out for Rotobo. You just want to try and get one. Make it a one-goal game.
It's got to happen right here if you want to have a chance.
And that one off the stick of Zenton gets to Rotobo. 13 seconds left in this one. Rotobo, a smart move, gets around Brigman, and Brigman takes out a teammate in front, a shot, and that one's going to go out to the blue line. And Bobby Brigman, and we're going to see a whistle. And whistle came with 1 second left, but looks like that's just going to do it. Both teams are going to head to give their goaltenders some taps on the head. So the Warthogs survive what was almost a Pucklings comeback late in the third period.
Yeah, good push there from the Pucklings at the end. But the Warthogs played a strong game defensively, and they're able to hold on.
So 3 different goal scorers for the Warthogs. They are able to hold on as the Pucklings score 3 in 3 minutes. What a 2 games here at Friday night here at the Polk Athletic Complex. No, what did you like from all the games tonight?
It was back and forth. Both games were fairly competitive, especially, this one didn't think it was going to be so competitive even going into the third period, but Pucklings made it a game. So good games in both of the matchups. So
yeah, I think my favorite part might be our broadcaster's jinx. I think we technically did ruin 2 shutouts. We didn't even say shutout the second time. It's Deion Brown waving down as he heads off the ice in the second game of the night. So thank you so much for joining us here for a Friday night doubleheader on the Southern Hockey Network. My name's Gavin Coker, joined by Noah Gabryluk, Lena Kay, and Chloe Coker, who are currently dancing behind me, getting more delirious by the second. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Southern Hockey Network.